Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, guys, what is going on once again? This is the Club of the Man 1993. I'm coming at you live for my live review of this week's episode of Smackdown Live, the February 5th, 2019 edition of Smackdown Live that the offer is taking place in Seattle, Washington, since, we were, Daniel Bryan go pop up. Apparently, we were in Everett, Washington. I'm not 100% sure where in Washington it is. I was in the state of Washington last year, of course, when I visited my sister, but not sure wherever Washington is. But I guess it's not too far, especially if Daniel Bryan still has a hot crowd. Then again, the whole state of Washington in general, is popular with Daniel Bryan because that's where he's from. That's one of the only people I know for sure that are from that area. Well, realistically, my sister used to live in Washington, but doesn't anymore. But guys, sorry I'm late again. I just, I dozed off for a few minutes because I'll be honest, I did not get a good night's sleep last night at all, guys. I couldn't sleep. I had insomnia last night. It's one of those nights where I just could not sleep. So, yeah, so I'm a little out of it. So hopefully, I don't, screw up this review or something like that, but we should be fine. We're going to talk about this show, but overall, gotta say, definitely a much better show than last week for sure. I mean, this week didn't really have anything that was, awful for me. Like the worst, was what it was. That's, what I can basically say with this show. The things that were, that great was what it was. But most of the show I thought was good. Little nitpicks here and there I want to throw out there. Just, something realistically I thought about. But, we'll get to that, of course, later on the show. But let's check the live chat. As always, see who is here. We've got Lauren, who left me several messages already. Let's see here. She said SmackDown was a B+ for her. She still doesn't understand the whole Rusev Nakamura pairing. Are they setting them up for the next tag team championship? Tag champs? Honestly, I started thinking it might be the case, but I'm not for it because I just don't understand this pairing at all. Like, why are they together? We'll get to that, of course, when we get to their match, though. The only thing, only thing bad was the women's match. And the Russo and Nakamura alliance. I thought was fantastic. She wants to see a Joe and Orton feud. After Chamber, she either Joe versus Orton, Ali and versus Bryan, and Hardy versus Styles at WrestleMania, which could be some good matches. Some of them I could definitely see happening at Mania. She's not digging a new eco-friendly title, though, to be honest. Me, honestly, though, I love the eco-friendly title, though, again, because it's actually, they're actually doing something to dig deeper into Bryan's character, of course, which I definitely can appreciate for that. Yes, it's weird, but, to me, it's like, okay, they're actually trying to dig deep with it, and it's something I think, it works in some way. So I'm all right with the eco-friendly title. Over here, of course. She thinks Orton, Styles, Sasha, Ronda, and Shane are going to be trained during Mania season, maybe. Best match that was Ali and Orton. Hardy and Bryan could have been better, she thought. Could we get Styles, Ali, and Hardy versus Orton, Joe, and Bryan next week? Either that or maybe like a couple triple threats maybe I'm possibly seeing. Not sure. Ali is looking like Rhodes somewhat. The audience definitely was on fire tonight for sure. Yeah, definitely. Of course, it was on they're definitely the loudest number segment with Bryan, addressing the audience and whatnot. That slap Becky gave Triple H, for sure. Of course, that was setting up for that slap for sure. Were there any turns tonight? I don't think there was. I mean, I thought for Baylor team something with Styles, but I'm just not sure if they would go with a heel Styles right now. Still, it feels a little random. I feel, but then again, this Scully's turns felt random, so but I'm not sure. I don't think we got any tonight. What do you think about Becky's suspension? Makes the storyline a little more interesting, definitely. So I definitely, think, it's worth it. Yeah, I definitely see a Becky and Steph feud. I definitely would like to see as well. Charlotte's maybe part of the Ronda and Becky feud, which again I agree. Still wouldn't surprise me if she gets inserted into it, though. I mean, I'd rather see it just be Ronda and Becky, but to me, it would not surprise me at all if Charlotte does get inserted. But it's like you say, if they're going to insert in there. Just making a triple threat, elimination style. Again, take Punk's idea. Hey, let's take a three-way, make it elimination style. Have someone pin me in freaking 5 minutes. I don't care. I can go. I can say I was in the main event of WrestleMania and say ha and whatnot. I wouldn't say completely give Charlotte out there in 5 minutes. They give her maybe I don't know, 7 or 10 minutes. Give the last 10 to 15 minutes to Becky and Ronda if they do go with that. But who knows? I definitely want to see fighting with my family for sure. Brian got a pop because he's from Washington for sure, and all heels got pops tonight. Which again, I was glad that even though Brian's a heel, and obviously he is his his hometown crowd. Was Brian really going to come home just to crap on his own crowd? Again, I felt I liked how he played along with the audience for sure tonight, which makes him, of course, a good heel. So Mark, Becky Lynch, definitely a female version of Stone Cold Steve Austin, definitely. Did I enjoy my nap? Yeah, I guess, but I'm probably gonna go to bed, not too long after again because I'm tired. But who knows? I'll probably get a second wind or something. But yeah, I didn't sleep well last night, guys. Yeah, I had that cough a few weeks ago. My sleep's been thrown off a little bit ever since. And then last night is just I could not fall asleep. It literally was like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm still tossing and turning. I felt wide awake, so I literally just sat up, watched videos on my phone for like an hour because I could not fall back asleep. Of course, I do have an update for you guys to address for the channel for the end of the month. I'll get there too. Hashtag Becky316 and shout that Orton and Becky got the biggest reaction tonight. Still not gonna give the nod to Daniel on that maybe, but they definitely got good reactions. Is Triple H and Steph a heel again? I don't know what the heck's going on with that, which is why, of course, I want to have a little bit of a nitpick from that opening segment. No women's tag team or United States Championship tonight. Interesting. Well, we did have the triple threat match, but R-Truth didn't show up. We knew Mel and Naomi were in the chamber. She cites thanks for spoilers. I hate spoilers too. Yeah, again, that was just random. Again, I was hoping maybe also we could have seen either maybe like Kairi Sane and Io Shirai from NXT, the Sky Pirates, they're calling them, maybe getting this match. Probably wouldn't win, but would be nice to have them there. Or wouldn't surprise if they brought back the Bellas, but again, they're just there for no reason. Again, Raw, you have to qualify. SmackDown, you don't have to. Doesn't make any sense. But any turns you predict for Mania season? I know you're predicting Shane, but I'd still rather see Miz. Again, I just don't think Miz works as a baby face. I'd rather see him as the heel. Not too sure about anyone else, but I definitely think we're going to get a turn from the Miz. Yeah, that's probably the only one I can think of right now off the top of my head. Mark thought this SmackDown was okay. Joe versus Orton versus Styles wouldn't be a bad triple threat. Hardy versus Bryan versus Ali would be a nice match at all. Is Rollins and Becky really injured? Rollins, I think, yes. For right now, Becky, no. Becky's is a work, I feel. Team Skyway claims that Becky needs new merchandise, maybe, for sure. Becky definitely needs to win a Mania, and Black makes Becky badass. She's a tweener. She's still a babyface, in my opinion. Who do you think are tweeners in WWE right now? Who do I think are tweeners? I don't know if I can really think of one who feels a tweener right now. Heel and face turns don't last very long these days. Who knows? Elite Squad says, I predict on the Go Home show for Elimination Chamber, there'll be a 6-man tag team match between Bryan, Joe, Orton, and Hardy, Ali, and Styles, possibly. Does this make Charlotte a female version of The Rock? I do not know, but I definitely love that spot there with Triple H kind of shooting her away for sure. But speaking of which, let's talk about that opening segment, guys. And once again, if I sound a little out of it again, I'm sorry again. I just did not sleep well last night. I just had a case of insomnia, basically. Just that happening. I'm not sick or anything. I just had insomnia. But anyways, moving on to the start of this show, which again was a pretty good show. I like this episode of SmackDown. A lot better than last week's again. We have Charlotte come out with, of course, that thick black makeup and whatnot. I'm thinking, man, Charlotte went from, the attempted white knight babyface WWE was trying to make her back at the end of the last summer into like the Wicked Witch of SmackDown Live or something like that. Because boy, was she just cackling evilness in this promo, I thought. She talked about how Becky's arrogance got the better of her last night, and she hopes she's thinking more clearly today and goes and sees the doctor and does a rehab so she can be healthy for Mania. But she knows someone who is 100% and would love to face Ronda Rousey at Mania, and Charlotte points at the sign. But all of a sudden, the crowd, starts going nuts, like, what's going on here? And sure enough, Becky Lynch, the man herself, shows up, walking through the crowd. Charlotte's yelling at security to get Becky out of here. She accuses her of stealing Roman Reigns, which, of course, not just Roman's, but the Shield's entrance. And she said, "You're not going to steal my spotlight again." Becky tells her to stop boring people to death, and she gets to the ring to declare her return to SmackDown as referees and whatnot try to keep order, of course, as Becky again is on suspension. But then out comes Triple H. He goes down and tells Becky she's suspended, needs to go home. And then Charlotte's like, being obnoxious. Well, I don't say being obnoxious, but effectively being, like obnoxious, like, whoa, yeah, like, obviously getting like very excited, just being sarcastic and whatnot. I'm just loving it. I'm loving how Charlotte's embraced that dark side again. It's like made her a lot more interesting again. That's just her right in her own little element, I feel. But Triple H tells her that it doesn't concern her and she needs to get out. Charlotte gets out, and then Triple H addresses Becky, telling her to go home and go see a doctor and get cleared if she wants the suspension lifted. But then Becky says, once again, she said to Stephanie last night, she doesn't trust that any of this is in good faith. And Triple H tells her, trust doesn't matter. This is what it is, and it's her only option. But then Triple H goes to leave, and then Becky savagely says, how's Steph doing? Is she cleared after she got punched in the face last night? Triple H just turns around and gets right into Becky's face. And as Triple H is with, his angry look and Becky having that, her smug look on her face, I'm just like, aha. Like, yes, this is definitely the set. Here it comes right here. This is obviously setting up for eventually happen. Becky Lynch, socked Triple H right across the face. He saw a little bit of blood in his beard when he did that, but I had a slight bit of an issue though with this part of the segment though. Triple H says, where does that get? Triple H says he sees it that he bought into all this the man crap, but she's not the man at all. That's a lie, and she's just a self-destructor afraid of failure. She's just looking to be a martyr to find a way out of the whole thing. She scratched and clawed her way to Survivor Series against Ronda. She came to Raw looking for a way out, and she got it. She knew that was a suicide mission, but she did it anyway and then complained about being in medical prison. And then she scratched and clawed her way to WrestleMania, and apparently she's making the same excuse again. She's afraid the doctor might say that apparently she's not injured right now. And Triple H doesn't believe that Becky's not injured. He thinks it's just an act to find a way out, and she's scared of what the doctor will say. He says Becky will say she's scared she won't be cleared, but no, he thinks she's scared she'll be told she can go fight Ronda Rousey at Mania, and if she does, Ronda will expose her as the fraud that she is. She's afraid that on the grand stage of all, she'll prove to everyone else that she fears Ronda, and he asks her to tell him he's wrong. And then Becky slaps him across the face, and they go nose to nose, but Becky doesn't budge. Just, she just has that smart look on her face, and then she drops the microphone and leaves Triple H standing in the ring. The problem I have this segment is you have Triple H on Raw, putting over Seth Rollins and just pushing him to be, that man he believes he is. And he succeeds with it, and the Triple H is happy about it. Now on SmackDown, we have Triple H accusing Becky Lynch of wanting to find a way to get out of this. And at the same time, he even accused her of running, that big, invasion of Raw back in November for Survivor Series as a way for Becky to get out of being in the match with Ronda at Survivor Series. To me, that didn't make sense. If you remember that segment again, Becky got punched in the face by Nia Jax. Her face was busted open and bleeding, and she was beating the ever-living piss out of Ronda still with the chair and everything. Becky was still in there tearing shit up, basically. How can you possibly, even think that Becky Lynch wants to get out of this? That does not make any sense. If he was saying something more yes, you've kind of gained a little bit of a reputation around here, but I think you're running a little high on your ego and getting too confident here or something like that, then okay, yeah, I could see him saying that. But to have him come out here and just to say that she's trying to get out of it, I'm just like, huh? That's a little little BS though. I wish they would have changed, the dialogue up for the segments a little bit because I wasn't getting behind this whole thing. Okay, yeah, Becky's not afraid of Ronda. Becky wants to make that statement off of Ronda. Becky was afraid of Ronda. She'd be getting out of the ring every time they've gone face to face, or she would have, not continued that fight like she did at before Survivor. I'm just like, I can't. I didn't like it. I just didn't like how he was saying it. I mean, the segment was good. Don't get me wrong, but that part of him saying stuff like that, Becky's trying to get out of it. I'm like, no, that's not true. Stop it. And I don't know, Becky's just going out there and just standing her ground, just tearing shit up, and basically just telling people, you're not going to tell me what to do, because that's how she's focused. She doesn't. I mean, yes, she's a hero, but she's not doing things to how do I put it this way? She's doing things that's entertaining the crowd, of course, and people are getting behind her for doing it, and they want to see her, do moments slap the bosses around or beat up, Ronda Rousey or something. She's not trying to get out of it. Again, that the part didn't make sense, but still a good segment, I thought, overall. We then got the club taking on Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura. Only thing good about this match, Lana was looking good, I gotta say. Man, sometimes whenever she's got the right outfit on again, boy, does she look good. Rusev, you are a lucky man. But of course, he's the only man that can have her, unfortunately. But anyways, match was what it was. Lana was the turning point was at first it was that Rusev and Nakamura weren't getting along on the same page. But then Lana helped Shinsuke up, and then Nakamura goes in, just tears crap down, and Rusev gets a Mashka kick for the win. I don't know, again, okay, they kind of try to tell some type of story in this match. I get it, but at the same time, it's I don't get why Rusev and Nakamura are teamed up in the first place. That's the biggest problem I have. The talent itself, okay, but again, the reason they're pairing up, I don't understand that at all. And Lauren mentioned in the live chat before, honestly, I kind of can't see them being. I think The Miz and Shane will retain over the Usos at Chamber. It'd be stupid that I feel just do that. I think they will drop the titles at Fastlane, before the at Fastlane, and they may drop them to Nakamura and Rusev, which to me feels like a stupid consolation prize for the two of them. But again, I need a story. Again, why are these two pairing up? Are they just trying to sabotage Rusev once again because he got over on his own and not because of them? Once again, WWE, in the words that John Cena said about The Undertaker last year, get over your ego. I wonder why people are leaving this company. But this was what it was. Nakamura and Rusev won again. I just don't know why these guys are together. We didn't see a promo package from Mustafa Ali talking about how no one expects him to beat Orton or survive the Chamber, but what if he defies the expectations to be champion? So pretty much the whole, what if stuff he's saying. So it's hyped up his match later on against Orton. Then Paige here, backstage, looking beautiful as always. And just, there's a trailer for, of course, also says, I'm glad you guys haven't forgotten me. Again, Paige, we can never forget about you, honey. But she does the trailer again for Fighting With My Family. As again, like I mentioned before, I will definitely check it out sometime. Probably won't be able to check it out unless I do check it out while I'm out of town, because I'm going on vacation now when it comes up. Again, I'll address that again at the end of the video. But yeah, so that trailer looked pretty good. Again, I definitely will be checking that out. Next, we're informed that we're going to have McMiz TV next week. Their special guests, their opponents for Elimination Chamber, the Usos. Usos have a backstage promo where they question the notion that Shane McMahon and The Miz are the best tag team in the world. They run their bona fides down and vow to lock McMiz TV down in the Uso Penitentiary. We didn't see Randy Orton get a picture-in-picture promo where he says he's not even going to bother to learn Mustafa Ali's name because he's like all other opponents he's beaten, basically. And then we have the match between Mustafa Ali and Randy Orton. Gotta say, good stuff. Like I thought it was definitely, a fun match. Definitely continuing on this whole trend here with, Ali as like, the underdog, the more new guy on SmackDown Live, who I gotta say again has definitely been rocking it. And Randy Orton being that one who's just trying to knock, these, on these big names and underdogs and these guys that he feels get respected more than him off the pedestal and whatnot. There's a couple of different good spots in this match. Orton, when Ali went for a position, Orton hits a neck breaker suplex for a 2 count. There was a top tope over the table from Ali, putting the boots to the Viper into the table as well. Of course, my favorite spot for sure was when Orton, was the finish where Orton just threw Ali up in the air off the turnbuckles and he hit an RKO on him. It looked sick. It looked, in some ways it kind of replicated a little bit of Rollins and Orton's finish at WrestleMania 31. Of course, Rollins went flying up because Orton countered the curb stomp. But Orton just threw Ali up high in the air and just RKO'd him. That was a sick spot for sure. Right there for Orton to get the win. And then out of the blue came Samoa Joe, who puts the Coquina clutch on Randy Orton. The Viper passed out, and he boots Ali to the floor. And as he's going to leave, Daniel Bryan comes out with his his intellectual peer, Rowan. Stares down Joe, and then we go to break. We came back from commercial. First, we see Samoa Joe cutting a good emotional promo backstage, talking about how physics work a little different for him, with each action having an equal and overwhelming reaction, and ends will justify the means when he raises the WWE title up in the air. Again, just referring to Newton's laws of motion. There's something I kind of know a little bit about since I did that for a research project in middle school about Newton's laws of motion. Thanks to my science teacher suggesting that for me, but not a science whiz though. I'll tell you that. I watched The Big Bang Theory. But anyways, though, Bryan is in the ring, and of course he's got a good reaction because we're in his home state of Washington, and he was introduced as Washington's only son, or heck he said. But Bryan is on the microphone, says he finally gets to talk to people who understand what he's trying to do. The people of the great state of Washington are intelligent and realize that we need change. Unfortunately, as champion, he speaks to a global audience, and these people understand that their crass, selfish behaviors just destroy minds, fatten their bodies, just trying to get that dopamine rush to get to the next hump. So you see that he's fighting an uphill battle. That's why he's created the new title, a symbol for people to rally behind. The old title was a symbol of excellence and of excess. And this title is not only a symbol of excellence, but for change as well. But people are threatened by this change. And then Rowan gets on the mic, who, I'll be honest, he didn't really cut the best part of it, bro. I thought he kind of mumbled a little monotone. I'm just like, Rowan, you gotta turn your volume up a little bit, man. He gets on the microphone and explains the way of life of Galileo, that great thinkers are considered dangerous. Bryan is considered dangerous because of his title. And as long as he holds it, they'll try to silence him. And then, of course, you get a bunch of, what? And then Bryan says, don't what me, before saying he serves a greater power than greed, money, or fame, because he's the planet's champion. But the suits back there don't like it. And that's why he's being put into the chamber match defending his title. He's been there before and only serves to reinforce how dangerous it is. See a video package breaking out what the chamber is. And then Bryan names his 5 opponents one by one before saying they want to take the title back to what it used to be, put it back on leather so we, the ignorant masses, need as a WWE champion. Jeff Hardy backstage was watching it on the screen, says that Bryan made him sick and no one has disrespected the title more than Bryan has. He's considered intervening, but he knows Bryan isn't interested in a debate, so he's going to go out and make him shut up. But then we have this is interesting. AJ Styles storms in and says he can't agree more, but Jeff's been around here for too long with his recent history. Is he really the guy to represent that legacy, though? Jeff says AJ can't beat Bryan, so maybe he's not the guy either. And he says if he finished the job at Rumble, they wouldn't be having this conversation, and they'll settle it in the chamber. Just, I mean, again, like, it's again, every man for himself. Obviously, the heels are going to attack heels, the faces are going to attack faces in some ways, but I felt a little more of a heelish side from AJ Styles in this segment a little bit. So I don't know. Kind of wonder if maybe they might turn Styles heel. I don't know though. I still don't see it coming yet, in my opinion. So we'll see where it goes. I still like to, in some way, see a few with. I still feel the best route for AJ for Mania is him and Orton. If they're not going to go all out and do him and HBK, but again, him and Orton, I still think Styles and Orton need to have that WrestleMania pay-per-view match we've been wanting to see. Again, we've seen them have one match, one-on-one, I believe. And again, it was before WrestleMania 33. The winner faces Bray Wyatt at Mania, which was a good match. But yeah, we'll see, of course, if we'll get that or not. And then it's announced that Carmella and Naomi are calling themselves Fabulous Glow, are entering the last team to enter the women's tag title chamber match. And then they had like a handicap promo telling the stories about Tough Enough, because apparently Mandy Rose again is holding a grudge from 4 years ago, and Carmella explains the origin of their team, and then we have the Iconics explaining what winning the tag titles would mean to them. And then we have Mandy Rose, looking great as usual, and Sonya, who, she's pretty beautiful as well. They talk about the present day and how they're an established team and some of the only women who have been inside the chamber, which is true. Besides Sasha and Bayley, they're the only two who've been inside the chamber, which was last year, but they're kind of like, just there to fill space, I felt. We had this triple threat match, Carmella and Naomi taking on, the list, here's what they're listing these names as on Cage Side Seats. Fabulous Glow, which is going to be Carmella and Naomi, the Iconics, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, and I don't know if this is just Cage Side or this is really what they're going to call them now, formerly Absolution. Now, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville listed as Fire and Desire, which again, I just don't understand, multiple team tag matches, because one moment, it's all three in the ring at once. Next moment is, it's only two in the ring at once. I never know what is what. But long story short, I mean, this match, yes, we had the Iconics in here and there, but of course, this match more so focused still on the feud with Naomi and Mandy Rose, since they're going to be in the chamber together. And, Iconics barely did anything in this match, but all I remember was the end. When Mandy tags herself in, not realizing that Naomi was in the match. She tries to run away, but Naomi drags Mandy in by the hair, and then she starts doing these weird looking punches that, if you thought with what Mandy's been doing to Naomi, you think Naomi's been going like boom 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 boom, like trying to beat the ever-living piss out of her, but instead we got her throwing like punches that Ralphie threw at Scott Farkas in Christmas Story. Just like, oh, come on. Come on. If you wouldn't really want to rip this girl, she should be like, boom, 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 not, But then, kind of looked like that Naomi just handed this one to Mandy, because Naomi hits Peyton Royce with a rear view, and then Mandy sets her up then for the finisher that I said a few weeks ago that I don't know why she didn't do this in their match they had a few weeks ago for the Rumble. But Mandy hits that Angel Wings finisher again. It reminds me a lot of Beth Phoenix's Glam Slam to get the victory. So it's strange, even though, Mandy didn't look like, too strong in this match for sure. Someone pointed out on Twitter, so far, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, believe it or not, are undefeated this year. Well, besides the Rumble, but them as a team together, they've won all their matches. So definitely have some momentum for sure going into the chamber match for sure. Again, they're definitely a candidate for me to win. I think it probably will be either them or Sasha and Bayley. But wait to see. But this match was meh still, in my opinion. It wasn't really, the greatest in my opinion, but it was what it was. Haven't checked the live chat for a while, so let's go back and check that, because we went over the 1 hour mark for that. Let's see here. Let me see here. Where were we at? I think we were right here. Charlotte, a female version of The Rock. Nope. How is she the female Rock? She's more like the female Ric Flair, basically. Lauren says Charlotte's a female Roman. Again, like, not since they actually turned her heel again, not really. But she does get a lot of opportunities like him. Does Charlotte get her mole removed? I have no clue. They even take notice. Charlotte is definitely much better as a heel, and she even admitted again when Charlotte came up to the main Raw. I remember one time I was doing an interview with Charlotte, and she was kind of mentioning how I guess Sasha was a little upset that Charlotte got the title when they got up to the main roster first. But Charlotte's like, well, keep in mind, again, she stayed in NXT for 8 months after she dropped the title. Like, she mentioned, like, why couldn't she even go up whenever she had a title? Like, Paige did, and, like, Sasha did and whatnot. But she also mentioned how, she only turned face because she was putting on good matches in NXT. Like, she even admitted, she's Ric Flair's daughter. Ric Flair was never meant to be loved to begin with. So, like, Charlotte, kind of in some ways kind of slowly turned herself heel, like that fall of 2015 before she finally turned on Becky Lynch, like at the beginning of 2016. But yeah, I definitely agree. Charlotte's a much better heel. The opening segment was everything for sure. What was the point of turning Becky heel last year? Nothing. Again, because WWE wanted to. Again, I kind of understand in some ways because they were planning on doing Becky and Charlotte again. And yes, we've done it already, and it was Becky to face Charlotte the heel. I get it, but same time, just the story behind it all just did not work. Again, I mean, yes, obviously, Becky could have still done what she did, and because again, all she was doing was speaking the truth. That's why Becky being a heel was not going to work because it was the truth. Becky had been through so much the past 2 years, just being treated like nothing. Finally, getting back on top, just for Charlotte again. As I said, like Charlotte literally can just show up and get an opportunity. Like literally, she lost the championship to Carmella. Goes away, gets her boob fixed, comes right back, and immediately gets an opportunity to get a title match. Like Becky, if that was Becky Lynch, she wouldn't get that. So, like we wanted to see her do what she did to Charlotte at SummerSlam. That's why the night after when Becky was saying stuff like that, we really never were behind her. Like that is total BS. That is not organic. That is not the truth. And WWE knew it. But for a few weeks, they tried to sabotage us with that. But they finally, of course, are getting it right. That's what I'm saying. Like Becky Lynch is literally, stomping on like what we do not want right now, and that's what's getting her over. That's why she feels like the hero and not the heel anymore. And I'm glad they finally backed off and had her embrace more of like a hero role rather than being a coward heel, like a badass who's going to do whatever it wants. Like again, do you think if Becky Lynch was a heel, she would have no fear in slapping the boss or even like Stephanie McMahon or Triple H? No, like she wouldn't do that. WWE would not have her do that if she was the heel. But with her more like a face role, being the Stone Cold Steve Austin of the women's division right now, basically. Now is why she's a hero, of course. Keep the Raw Women's title match a 1-on-1 at Mania, which again, I still agree Mark should be, but again, I still have that bad feeling they're going to add Charlotte. Although if Charlotte's not added to that match, just put her against Asuka and have her put Asuka over this year. Because again, think about it. Last year Asuka went on a downward spiral after she lost to Charlotte. So again, Asuka again, yeah, she won the championship by climbing a ladder. She beat one of the people in that match already clean. Want to have her beat the other one to put her over, to really prove that she belongs back on top for sure. So I'd be okay with Charlotte and Asuka rematch at Mania if that's where to go with it. No Asuka again this week. Who'll be Asuka's opponent at Mania? I mean, they did show the video package, but yeah, I guess she's not having the match at Chamber. But again, it's weird not showing her on television. No, but again, I still think we'll either get her against Charlotte or Kairi Sane. I think we'll see her face at Mania. I know Kairi Sane may be too early, but again, that's my second option because I still really want to see that match for sure. How is SmackDown Live getting edgier but Raw as shit? Who the hell knows? The slap around the world for sure. I agree as well. Never mess with Steph and Triple H. You'll get bit for sure. That slap on Triple H though, clap, clap, clap. Triple H is the face of NXT, but heel on the main roster. I mean, I don't know. Again, she's being a face put over Seth Rollins, just recently. So, again, if he would more so just like say like you need to get over you need to not dig so deep into this ego thing, okay, but literally him like calling Becky a fraud and whatnot again, it was just like it made no sense. That's why I was kind of front on that part. I wondered, did Triple H see fear in her eyes after she slapped the taste out of his mouth? Because I did. Oh, I haven't seen fear in Becky's eyes. She literally does not care. She is not afraid at all. Like, why would WWE try to get us to even think or suggest the idea that Becky Lynch is afraid? Like, she's not. I mean, yes, she may be afraid that, in reality, if they say if she's afraid to be told she can't compete in this match, I get it. But be told that she's afraid to compete in the match in general to avoid it, it's like, come on. Like, if she was that afraid, she would, go out of her way to get into the Women's Rumble match, my opinion as well. Who is the best tag team in the world right now? Oh, boy. Undisputed Era, definitely. I mean, I don't watch much outside wrestling, but I got to maybe give a nod to the Young Bucks, maybe. Just my opinion, but I think Young Bucks or Undisputed Era. Who could we see facing Daniel Bryan at Mania? I'm still thinking Bray Wyatt, possibly. Maybe John Cena, Rey Mysterio. Maybe Hardy, who knows? I still have no clue who's going to face Bryan at Mania. Was the bar on WWE tonight? Nope. Lauren's saying Ali versus Bryan, possibly. Worst WWE wrestler now. Worst WWE wrestler. The worst. Jinder Mahal. Best WWE wrestler now. Oh man, there's a lot of them. Well, in NXT, definitely Gargano, or Ricochet. Ricochet, I'll put there. On the main roster, give it Styles. Best feud going on right now. Again, probably what's going on with NXT with Ciampa and Gargano, even though they're kind of an alliance right now. But on main roster, best feud. Becky and Ronda, definitely, gotta say. Best face and heel. Well, best and worst brand in your opinion. NXT is the best brand. Best brand is NXT. Worst is Raw. Best face and heel. Well, heel, no doubt about it, is Ciampa on NXT. Main roster, it's Joe. Best face, Becky Lynch, and well, Johnny's not a face now, so I can't say that. Worst, Corbin, Lashley, Rush, Nia, Tamina, and Jinder. I still think Leo's good in the ring, though, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Cringiest, most convincing. Not too sure. Not sure about that one. And best pay-per-view so far. I mean, we only had two, really. Rumble and TakeOver. Okay, let me get back to the review, guys, but keep the stuff coming, a lot of chat coming, though. But thank you guys as always. We get the video package for Asuka being champion as well. And then we get the main event, Daniel Bryan and Jeff Hardy, which I think was too bad of a match. Of course, the turning point came towards the end of the match where Hardy hit the twist of fate on Bryan, dragged him into the corner. He was at the swanton bomb, but Rowan yanks Hardy out of the ring and beats down Hardy to get disqualified. But then Hardy again beats down Rowan, and then Rowan throws him back into the ring for Bryan to put in the labella lock on him. But then out came Samoa Joe, who then pushed Rowan into the steel steps, and he puts a coquina clutch on Daniel Bryan. Orton comes out to get his comeuppance on Joe, but then Joe starts brawling with Orton. Then Ali hits a double drop kick off the top ropes to a suicide dive onto Joe, and one for Rowan too. But he goes to hit a suicide dive on Rowan, but then Ali gets caught, and a nice little claw. He like grabbed like the face of Ali and like claw slam. He didn't choke him. He like claw slammed him into the into the announce table. Which every time I do this, I think I have this joke. When I was in high school, some random girl in my class, wasn't really that close to her at all, played this joke on me saying, "Hey Mike, if your hand's bigger than your face, that means you got cancer." I'm like, "What?" Oh, pushing in my face. Had to bench that because a guy in my face. Anyways, though, off topic there. But then out comes AJ Styles. He comes in, he fights with Orton, he Pele's Joe off the apron, and he hits a phenomenal forearm on Jeff Hardy, and he stares down Bryan as he was getting kind of being blamed by Jeff Hardy earlier tonight that this is the fact that Daniel. The story here is the fact that all these guys are upset that Daniel Bryan has disrespected the WWE title and replaced it with some eco-friendly title, which I get. I think works very well. But obviously, AJ is feeling like the one that has caused this mess. And honestly, again, another AJ and Bryan match. I need something fresh right now for the two of them for sure. So him being in the chamber with Bryan, I'm cool with, but again, obviously needs to move on to Orton for Mania for sure. But let's see here. But he just stares down Bryan, and Bryan and Rowan exit. And I'm looking at the clock, and it's 9:57. I'm like, wow, this is done a little earlier. But then backstage, Bryan is interviewed. He starts screaming at the woman who's interviewing him. He insists that Rowan is his friend and his intellectual peer. And what he did out there, he did all by himself. And that's why he's the greatest. Rowan isn't his bodyguard. They hang out because they're intellectual peers. All those guys just interfered in his match. And why? They're not getting the title. Not ever. Why? Because that's what the planet needs. Nobody understands this but him and Rowan. Oh, and also I forgot to mention it too. I skipped over this by accident. We have a segment also with Andrade. He's Andrade, but to me, he's still Andrade Cien Almas, talking about the legend of Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega, which, damn, Aleister Black, you're lucky. And why is all these guys so lucky in WWE right now with these women? Zelina Vega comes in and says that Rey is a folktale, a fable best left to history books, and Almas stomped his legend out last week. And the legend of Andrade starts with Rey's end, which, I'm like, cool with me. As I definitely say, definitely keep that match for WrestleMania. Again, don't overkill with this match before Mania. So we'll see where that goes as well. But that was SmackDown Live, guys. Let me check the polls here on Twitter. 5 votes for what grade would you give SmackDown Live. 5 votes, 4 of them said B. 1 of them said D or lower. What the hell said D or lower? This is a pretty good show. And what show did you more this week? Raw or SmackDown Live? 3 votes, all said SmackDown Live. Guy agrees SmackDown was a better show for sure. Raw was trash. And SmackDown for me gets a B+ in my opinion. Let's check the live chat and see who we got here for the final few things here. Are you doing top 10 chamber matches this week? I'm probably not going to, I'm not sure what top 10 we'll do this week, but I probably won't do a top 10 chamber matches thing because I haven't seen a lot of chamber matches yet. Again, I've only seen 2013s, 2014s, 15s. There was one 16, 17s in last year. So I haven't seen that many chamber matches. I probably won't do a top 10 chamber match a stream, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet this week, but we'll see what happens. What did you think was the best and worst match tonight? Worst match, I think, was probably the women's match. It was what it was, but it wasn't god awful, but it was the weakest. Gotta say, probably give the nod to Ali and Orton, I'd say. Now, Bryan and Hardy wasn't bad either, but I think Ali and Orton had the best match, I felt. I'll give that. Bryan and Bray and Bryan wouldn't make sense. Unless if they unless like Bray gets repackaged or something like that, and he's going after Bryan because of with Rowan by his side or something like that, or even if Bray Wyatt comes back and he's like, Rowan, when I set you free, this is not what I set you up to do or something like that, just to give Bray babyface momentum. But I'd still be interested in seeing what they would do, because again, remember, Bryan and Bray had again, in my opinion, of course, had an awesome match at Royal Rumble 2014. But that's just my opinion for sure. Can we see Ali pull off an upset at Chamber? it would be a nice surprise. I wouldn't throw it out there because they gave him a lot of momentum coming in. We'll see, but I'm not going to rule it out. And they say creative has kept Bray out of WWE because there's nothing for him in the main roster. I say Bray should just go to AEW. Yeah, if Bray doesn't have anything to do by at least by the Raw or SmackDown after Mania, then I definitely say go to AEW or something. Because why they've kept them out since like SummerSlam. What did you enjoy more tonight? Ollie versus Orton, Becky's opening segment, or Bryan versus Jeff, or the 6 opponents going at it? Somewhat, I don't know. I can't decide which one. I mean, somewhat I enjoyed all of them for sure. Styles versus Jeff feud, please, would be interesting. Do you see another WWE title change design after Bryan loses the championship? It'll probably go back to it'll probably just go back to the regular design. I think. I don't think they're going to change the full design for sure. Do you think Rowan will turn on Bryan soon? Nah, I don't think it's too soon. I don't see him turning on Bryan if they're going to really keep this in like the long term or something like that. I mean, it's not like the crazy. It's not my favorite alliance, but it does kind of interest me again a little because again, I appreciate the fact that they're using this alliance though, and again the eco-friendly title to dig deeper into Bryan's character. It's not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but it's different. It's fresh. It has me, me listening. Orange Styles and Bryan will be the top 3 in the chamber, which could happen. Ray versus Andrade feud, she's not feeling it. Andrade checks more, to be honest. Andrade could be a U.S. champion, which I think he will dethrone Truth. Good night, people. Get some sleep. See you for your NXT review for sure. What's your top 10 this week? Not sure. I did do a top 10 last week. I did my top 10. I did my top 10 favorite matches I've seen in person. I'm not sure what I'm doing this week. Maybe top 10 chamber moments. We'll see. But again, I just haven't seen enough chamber matches to a top 10 chambers match. I didn't get to watch Halftime Heat yet. Sorry, guys. Lawrence, I'll see you either Thursday or Friday for your top 10. Have to work at 8:30. Get off at 5. Sweet dreams, everybody. Thank you, Lauren. So again, well, I definitely, if I do a top 10, I have to do it Thursday. I'm not going to be able to do it at all on Friday because Friday again, I'm going to meet Roman Reigns at the World of Wheels convention again. Again, I know, as I always say, not a big fan of the character, but I respect the man. And especially since, this time when he's battling leukemia, I want to be able to go out and show my support. So I want to meet Roman Reigns on Friday, like late afternoon. And afterwards, I'm going out to having dinner with some family. So I'll have to do the top 10 on Friday, but on Thursday, but I'm still not sure what I'm doing, what topic I'm going to do. Yeah, I still have to decide. I mentioned this last night, and I got to say it's happening for sure. But I am going later on this month. Well, again, next week will be normal, schedule reviews and whatnot, the odds and ends. But the following week, though, I'll be doing my normal stuff which is the week of the week after, like the go home shows. I mean, not the go home, the fallout shows from Chamber. I will be home for Chamber, but that week after Chamber. That Thursday, I'm going out of town for a week. I'm going on vacation to visit my sister. I just booked my flight tonight, but it's a surprise, so shh. Although she doesn't really watch my videos anyways. But I will be going out of town to visit my sister for a week. So I most likely, like last year when I went out of town to visit her, I most likely will not be doing any live reviews. I mean, I may just have to record them and just upload them later. But so that whole week, don't expect too much from me. Again, I'll be gone on the 21st. I'm coming home the 28th. So just wanted to get that out there, guys. Just a heads up. I'll have reminders, of course, here and there of when that happening, just so you guys are aware. And Raw's not happening that Monday, and I'm not up here live. And it's like, Mike, where are you? It's like, well, I'm out of town, guys, and I want to spend time with my sister. So I'll be going out of town. I'm not going back to Seattle, though. I'm going back down south to Texas because that's where she lives now. So it should be an interesting trip. But I had to throw that out there as well. And of course, keeping the hype up the fact that I will be going to WrestleMania 35 this year, and I'm looking forward to that as well. So yeah, guys, a lot to come definitely for sure for this channel and for myself personally. So I just wanted to put that stuff out there. But yeah, guys, what are your thoughts on SmackDown Live this weekend? Give it a B+. Enjoyed SmackDown Live more for sure. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And make sure as always to click my like and subscribe more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAirBody3. And guys, again, I'm pretty tired. I'll watch 205 Live while I'm trying to fall asleep. And if I'm still awake after 205 Live, then I'll review it tonight. If not, I'll review it first thing tomorrow for sure. But I'm checking out, guys. Thank you all for watching once again. I'll see you guys all later on. So, until then, guys, have a great night and peace out, everybody.